Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to the third episode of our series, Tajweed, the art of reciting the Quran. Inshallah, what we're going to try to do is to begin every single episode with an interesting fact about the Quran, so that we gain knowledge and information about this blessed and holy book. And the fact that we're going to discuss today is a very interesting fact, and that is that the Prophet ﷺ, in the beginning of the revelation, very early on, he was very worried about forgetting the Quran that Allah revealed to him. So what he would do was that when Jibreel would recite the Quran to him, he would immediately start repeating the verse even before Jibreel had finished the verse. And this was out of his concern and fear of forgetting the Quran. So Allah Azza wa Jal revealed verses to prevent him from doing this act. And of these verses is Surah Al-Qiyamah, verse 16 to 19. These are verses still recited to this day. Allah Azza wa Jal told the Prophet ﷺ, "La tuharrik bihi lisanaka lita'jala bih." Don't hasten your tongue. Don't move your tongue in order to recite it quickly. Inna alayna jam'ahu wa qur'ana. It is up to us to compile it and to recite it. فَإِذَا قَرَأْنَاهُ فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَهُ. When we recite it to you, then pay attention to its recitation. So the Prophet ﷺ was commanded by Allah Azza wa Jal not to be worried about forgetting the Quran. Allah would take care of him memorizing it. So don't hasten after Jibreel. Don't repeat the sentence even before Jibreel finishes. And from this act we also learn that when the student studies under the teacher, he should let the teacher finish completely the verse before reciting after him. In today's lesson we will discuss the proper pronunciation of the letters of the Arabic alphabet. And this is an integral part of Tawheed, of Tajweed. Without a doubt, the proper pronunciation of the letters is the single factor and the primary factor that differentiates a person who can recite the Quran properly from the one who cannot. This is the first thing that you notice, how he pronounces the letters. In fact, this is not just with Arabic, this is with every single language. With every single language, how do you tell a native speaker from a non-native speaker? The first thing, before even the words he uses, is the way he pronounces the words, the way he pronounces the letters. Therefore, in order to pronounce the Quran properly, to recite the Quran with tajweed, we need to know and learn how to pronounce the letters of the Arabic alphabet. And the way that we learn this, the way that we study this, is to study where the proper letter comes from. And this is something we call in Arabic makhraj. What is the place where the letter originates from? When we study the place where it originates from, we can try our best to emit that letter from that place. So we have the areas where the sounds come from. Where do the sounds originate from? There are 5 areas of the body where sounds of the Arabic language originate from. The first of these 5 is the chest area. This is the entire chest area over here. Okay, it is not a specific area. The entire wind canal of the chest. And from this, 3 sounds occur. We will discuss them in a little while. The second area where sounds emanate from is the actual throat. The specific throat, we have 6 letters that originate from 3 different areas within the throat. The second place where, or the third place where letters originate from is the tongue. And obviously the tongue is the most common place where letters originate from. And the tongue in the Arabic language, for the Arabic language, it has over 10 specific areas where the letter originates from. And this is the third of the 5. The fourth is the actual lips of a person. And from the lips, there are 2 areas where the sounds originate from. Once again, we're going to discuss all of these step by step. We're just giving you an overall picture of the 5 areas where sounds originate from. And the final area where a sound originates from in the Arabic language is the nose. And there's only one sound that comes from that, the sound of the ghunna, which we will discuss in a future episode. So these are 5 broad areas where the sounds originate from. And some of these areas are subdivided into more areas. For example, the throat is divided into 3 areas, the tongue into 10 areas, the lips into 2 areas, and so we have a complete total of 17 specific areas based upon the 5 general areas where the sounds originate from. In today's episode, we will only discuss the first 2 of these 5 sounds. And the first of the 5 areas is the letters, or the first, is the letter or the sounds that come from the chest area. There is no specific letter that comes from here. The sounds that come from the chest area are 3. And these are the sounds of the vowels. The A, E, and U. So all of us know the vowels because there are vowels in the English language as well. The sound A, not the letter, the sound. The letter is alif, but the alif with a fatha is A. And then the sound E, which is a ya with a kasra, E. And then the wa with a dhamma, U. These 3 sounds are called the sounds of mad or elongation because we make them long. Where do these come from? These come from the entire chest area. So all of you do an A. Now where does it come from? You can tell it comes from the entire chest. E. Is no specific areas, the entire chest. U. Is the entire wind canal that is making these 3 letters of the vowel. So the first area, which is that of the entire chest area, we have 3 sounds, no specific letter, 3 sounds. And these are the sounds of the vowel letters of Arabic. There are 3 vowel letters in Arabic, the A, the E, and the U. And alhamdulillah, I think most of the Muslims can say this properly because these vowels are common in many, many languages. The second of the 5 areas, which is this slide here, are the letters of the throat. The letters of the throat. Which letters originate from the throat? This area over here. Between or above the actual trachea and beneath the place where we eat our food. Within this area there are 6 letters that come. And these 6 letters are divided into 3 categories. From the lowest part of the throat, which would be over here. The lowest part of the throat, we have 2 sounds or 2 letters coming. That of the hamza and that of the ha. Hamza, a. And the ha. So the hamza, a. If you put your hand over here, this is one of the ways to figure out this. Put your hand over here and say a. You find it coming right from the bottom of the throat. There is nothing below this except that it's a part of the windpipe. So the lowermost part of the throat, this is where the hamza originates from. And similarly, ha. This is where the ha comes from. Okay? So these 2 letters are found in the lowest part of the throat. Slightly above the throat, the lowest part, which is the middle area, we have 2 letters. Ayn and ha. Okay? Ayn and ha. Now put your hand here and do a. You find it's a little bit above the a. A is lowest, a is in the middle. And similarly, ha. So the difference between a ha and a ha is just the space of a few centimeters. Okay? Which is why many people get confused in pronouncing the ha properly. The ha most people can do. But the ha is slightly above the ha. Okay? Ha versus ha. Okay? So from the middle area of the throat, which is this area, we have a and ha. Ayn and ha. This is very close to the actual, we call in English the Adam's apple. Okay? From this area come the 2 letters of ayn and ha. The highest area of the throat, we have 2 other letters. The ghayn and the kha, which is right below the end of the tongue. Okay, the ghayn and the kha. So these are throat letters, but they are the highest part of the throat. You cannot go higher than them. Gha, say gha, like this again. Gha, you find it coming right from the top. Kha, once again coming right from the top. Okay, so if you have this chart in front of you, you realize the difference between the hamza and the ayn, and between the ha and the ha, and also between the ayn and the ghayn. Again, a lot of people get confused in the proper pronunciation of these letters. Once you realize where they come from, and that the hamza ha is the lowest, okay, and then the ayn ha are from the middle, and then the ghayn and kha are from the highest part of the throat. Once you realize this, now you have to start practicing to expel the air from that area in order to get the sound. You know now where it is. This is again the theory. Remember I said over and over again that tajweed is composed of theory and practice. This is the theory. In order to perfect this, you need to sit in front of a real qari, a real sheikh, and recite the Qur'an to him so that he can tell you, no, that wasn't an ayn, that was more like a hamza. Okay, that wasn't a ha, that was more like a ha. Okay, and when you do this, then you will be able to fine-tune your Tajweed. No doubt this requires practice. Okay, but realize that anybody can pick up these pronunciations. There's a famous scholar, we quoted him before, Ibn al-Jazari. He has a poem on Tajweed, which is the standard poem on Tajweed. He says in this poem, وَلَيْسَ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ تَرْكِهِ إِلَّا رِيَاضَةٌ امْرِئٍ بِفَكِّهِ. There is nothing between a person and the science of Tajweed except practicing of the tongue or practicing of the mouth. So all that you require is to sit down in front of a real qari, a real sheikh, and recite the Quran to him. Once you know where the letters come from and the rules, this will be half the science, and the rest of it is to actually sit down and recite in front of a sheikh. Our recitation for today will be Ayat al-Kursi, which is the greatest ayah in the Quran. As we all know, the Prophet ﷺ said this is the greatest ayah in the Quran, and the Prophet ﷺ would recite this very regularly. And Ayat al-Kursi is on the first page of the second juz, or the third juz, as you all know. Let us start. If you find it, the first page of the third juz. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم.
الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم.
لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم.
لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم.
له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض.
له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض.
من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه.
من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه.
يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم.
يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم.
ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء.
ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء.
وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض.
وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض.
ولا يؤوده حفظهما.
ولا يؤوده حفظهما.
وهو العلي العظيم.
وهو العلي العظيم.
And with this we come to the conclusion of another episode of our Tajweed series. I hope to see you next time. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.